Hi, my name is Corinne Bloom and I'm a life coach and mentor. And today I want to talk to you about responsibility. So I've spoken a little bit about responsibility lately, but I think it keeps on coming up in the ether. I hear about it a lot on a more global scale level, where people are really beginning to say, we have to take responsibility. We do have the power of choice, and it's no longer okay to hide behind the mask, or to hide behind the corporation, or to hide behind the life is that, or this company is that. It actually comes down to how can we take responsibility within our own selves, within our own choices, and within our immediate environment, which will naturally have a ripple effect on everything else, to actually make change, because we are so much more powerful than we think we are, in that sense that we do have a power of choice. And this doesn't just have to be on a large global scale. It can actually also be very, very pertinent in our own lives. So an example could be if you're in a relationship that you're not happy in. Often what happens is, one gets really in a sense of, I'm not happy in this relationship, and we get a little bit, frustrated, or we get into arguments with our partner. We'll nag on them, and we'll point out what we don't like about them, but we don't ever actually really stop to look at, how am I contributing to this? How am I colluding in this pattern, in this dynamic that obviously isn't bringing joy or happiness to either one of us? And that's a big thing. It takes a little bit of humility, and it takes a moment to actually sit back and go, okay, how am I contributing? Because we are, everything is in relationship. We're in relationship to ourselves, we're in relationship to others, we're in a relationship to our environment. We can't get away with not being a part of it. Like the saying goes, it takes two to tango. We are a part of it. So, but by taking the responsibility and looking at, what is my part to do with this? Let's just put aside the other. What is my part, and how am I contributing to this in a way that is perhaps not beneficial for this partnership, or this dynamic, or this relationship? Then we have the power to choose either to make a different choice, to show up differently, to speak differently, maybe to remove ourselves from that situation. But we actually give ourselves the opportunity to do something, to create something, to shift something. And again, on a larger global level, it's the same thing. We can sit here and complain about what's happening to the world, but if we're not making the right choices that are going to support a world that we want to live in, who's going to do it for us, right? So, people might come and they might have issues with relationship, and they ask me to fix it. It's not about fixing it. It's about looking at, how can you show up within it in a different way? And if you do want to make the relationship work, how can you do it together in a way that you can work on it together and find the ways of communicating so that you can support each other in the process? And again, this coming to the table in that way, we come to the table with ourselves, with our partners, with our families, with our colleagues, with our friends, and with the world, with the earth. And so really maybe taking a moment today or this week to look at, what are the situations where you can take more responsibility and I would do it in both arenas, even though I don't like to say good or bad, positive or negative. Look at the ways in which you're showing up in situations or relationships that perhaps are not beneficial for the both of you, and how can you take responsibility for parts of that. And then also look at the ways that you are contributing and collaborating in a way that you feel good about, or that the whole dynamic feels good about. And notice how you take responsibility in that situation as well, because it's really important to see both, to really see the things that are working well, and see the things that maybe are not working so well, because sometimes we can translate them, or sometimes we can kind of mentor the other by what's working in other areas of our life. And also, it's just important to see the things that are happening in our lives that we're really happy or fulfilled by or proud of, because it's really easy to get stuck in what we don't like and what we want to change. So take this week maybe to just look at the areas in life in which you can take responsibility for, and notice how that, what doors does it open for you to be able to make a different choice and to show up differently, and see how that affects your life. See how life changes and reflects itself back to you over the next week or the next month, and yeah, just see what happens. So I hope that's been helpful, and I wish you well on your journey.